Islamist group Hamas has begun ceding control of the Gaza Strip to the Palestinian Authority run by President Mahmoud Abbas. It's part of an agreement brokered by Egypt to end decades of strife between the two sides. The move is the most concrete implementation of a reconciliation deal to bring Palestine under one authority. The United States and Israel have both voiced reservations, but most Palestinians have welcomed the peace deal, with many thanking Egypt for its efforts.
Today is a great day in the history of Palestinians. The legal authority is back to the crossings. The unity government is back. We are now one government led by the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. We also thank Egypt for the great efforts.
Well, staying with that story, CGTN's Yasser Hakim now joins us live from Cairo. Yasser, Palestinians thanking Egypt for its role in the peace talks. What more can you tell us about that?
Yes, Egypt has been orchestrating the peace talks. You know, the issues and the conflict between the two Palestinian factions, Hamas and Fatah, has lasted for 11 years. So it's a major breakthrough. It had an impact on the peace process with Israel as well. Being divided front, the Palestinians has weakened their stance in the peace talks with Israel. So Egypt has been bringing both sides together in the last year or so to try to forge a peace accord between Fatah and Hamas. They are the two major factions in Palestine, and it bordered a lot on what's happening in Gaza and the Rafah border crossing that has been in control of Hamas, which led to a lot of issues concerning the infiltration of militants into Sinai and northern Sinai in Egypt from the borders with Gaza. And the new deal is not only bringing both sides together, it's also securing the area from militants.
And just how significant is this handover deal? Is there now real hope for Gaza to return to stability?
I'll quote one of the leaders of the Fatah movement, Ahmed al-Halis, who said that this handover proves that we are on the right track. It's the beginning of the real peace between both sides. And this proves that both sides are serious about bringing an end to their feud. The crossing is a major issue of conflict between both sides, and Hamas handing over the borders to the Palestinian government is a main proof that both sides are taking the peace talks seriously. This means that the border crossing, which will be handed over, or which is handed over, will be secured by the presidential forces, and as well as a police force from the European Union, a European police force, and this will secure the outcome and the flow from and to the border crossing. This border crossing was closed down by Egypt, and now after this agreement, Egypt announced that it will open the border crossing for Palestinians probably on the 15th of the month. So this is a major breakthrough that shows that there is hope that peace will entail in Palestine.
Finally, Yasser, just talk us through what comes next in this process. How closely involved will Egypt be in this next phase?
Yeah, Egypt said it is continuing its mediation in the next phase. Already there's been a meeting last week between the two sides in Cairo to hammer out some of the issues to be discussed. They're also going to meet again in the next few days. And what's on the agenda are three issues. First of all, the elections, the upcoming elections for Palestine, to form a new government, as well as trying to forge a new constitution and a new roadmap. And the most sticking point, or the tricky challenge, will be the third issue, is how to deal with the security. As you know, Hamas is an armed group that is resisting the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land, but at the same time you have the Palestinian presidency and the Palestinian government which are calling for Hamas to be convened in one Palestinian army rather than having its own force, which sometimes goes astray from the politics or the decisions of the government. So it's the tricky point is to deal with the arming of Hamas. Would they agree to disarm Hamas, or that Hamas joins a one unified Palestinian force, a police force? And this will be also discussed in the next phase. Egypt will be also monitoring the discussions and mediating between both sides as they continue their talks in the upcoming weeks and months.
All right, Yasser, thank you very much for that insight. CGTN's Yasser Hakim joining us live from Cairo.